Katrina's hurricane-force winds left downtown New Orleans littered with broken glass, debris everywhere. Still, that was a relief.
First impressions right after the storm were that we had really dodged a very big bullet.
But Mayor Nagin's communications director, Sally Foreman, soon learned that Lake Pontchartrain, swollen by storm surge, was now invading the city.
First things we were hearing in the Emergency Operations Center was that there was a 20-foot break in a levee in Lakeview.
Later they learned it was actually a 400-foot break on the east side of the 17th Street Canal. Water attacking the city overtopped and breached the city's flood protection in dozens of places, knocking out parts of the London Avenue Canal on both sides, ripping open the Industrial Canal flood wall.
Water was pouring into the city, and at that point we also knew the city was inundated.
And bad news kept getting worse.
Pumping stations were failing, and we found out that people were dying, people were on rooftops, and people were vastly in need of rescue.
A lot of police, firemen, and EMS crews, many of whom had lost their own homes, worked tirelessly along with Fish and Wildlife, the Coast Guard, and neighbors with boats to rescue people.
Some of our police officers and firemen would not wait for the boats. They could hear people screaming out to them, and they dove in the water and risked their lives to try and save some people.
Then
Councilwoman CYNTHIA MORRELL says she felt like she had been thrown into a deadly horror movie as she looked at deep floodwater around the Circle food store.
And there was this person floating in the water that had obviously drowned. And I still see that guy. It was a guy.
Foreman says people in the 911 center were traumatized.
They were so distraught at the number of death calls that they were having to receive.
We have been getting many reports that of bodies floating in the water, and people obviously have been trapped inside their homes. So we're going to have a significant amount of loss of life.
Monday night, hours after Katrina hit and the levees failed, Mayor Ray Nagin seemed shaken as he briefed us on what he knew.
The city of New Orleans is in a state of devastation. We probably have 80% of our city underwater. With some sections of our city, the water is as deep as 20 feet. We still have many of our residents on roofs.
It was horror. I've never seen people so frightened in all my life, and I've never felt so helpless. None of us ever felt so helpless.
Cell towers were down, communication out. But then Councilwoman Jackie Clarkson says she got help to people in assisted living homes in the upper 9th Ward.
We got high water vehicles in there and got them out.
But there was more trouble. Thousands of desperate people collecting at the convention center in blazing heat. Thousands more already stuck in the Superdome.
We had no electricity and no sanitation at the Superdome with 30,000 people. No food and no water with another 30,000 at the convention center. We had looting and lawlessness.
People around the world could see what was happening in live TV coverage. But 3 days after Katrina, the city still waited for state and federal assistance, buses to evacuate people, plus food and water for those in need.
The frustration was, why can't we get these people out the city? What is the bureaucratic baloney?
Wednesday did bring General RUSSEL, HONORE, who reportedly told a FEMA rep explaining the rules for getting help to shut up. You said to hell with the rules.
Oh yeah, the first thing you got to do in a disaster is throw the rules out the book. Because the rules are meant for peacetime when everything's working normal.
But Foreman says Thursday was the worst.
We had a chemical explosion. We had drowning and death. We had people on rooftops.
That was the night Nagin went on the radio screaming for help.
Don't tell me 40,000 people are coming here. They're not here. It's too doggone late. Now get off your asses and let's do something. And let's fix the biggest crisis in the history of this country.
Saturday, buses were taking people out. General Honore's troops restoring order. Hundreds of thousands of lives forever altered.
Everyone lost something big. Everyone lost something small. Everyone knew someone who was devastated in some way.